Just recapping the Abilene Christian game. Number one, I thought we were tight. 2 weeks in a row, we haven't been able to start fast and dictate the terms of the pace and us control the game the way we want to do it and dictate the terms of the fight. I think we need to find, some pure joy in this competition Saturday. There's nothing in the future can occur without respecting what it's going to take to win on Saturday. And so, from the time we start pregame meal and the prep there and the prep starts, we have to be confident looking forward and being excited about 60 minutes of football. I gave some thought to this today. It's interesting just talking about this week's upcoming game. I have oftentimes have had people ask me, hey, are you a Packer fan being from Wisconsin? I say, no, I'm a Packer. We need all Bison to show up for this game. Whoever considers themselves a Bison, we need everybody to be ready to go and be excited. We're excited to be at home and to play and get to defend the Dome again. This is our dirt, right? We need Bison Nation to be the 12th participant in this game. We need to be playing with 12. So let's get to the game early. Let's be loud and let's be proud for 60 minutes. Mercer right now, Coach Jacobs has got these guys thinking right. I just listened to their press conference. Their players are talking right. They're focused on them, playing their style of football. And quite frankly, if I was them, they beat East Tennessee State and it took a Hail Mary, pull off a comeback victory against them. And so I don't think they have any reason to be afraid of us right now. Our best football is still out there. 4 quarters, all 3 phases, playing together, playing really sharp and clean and tough football. We've been excellent in spurts the last 2 weeks. Absolutely lights out. But there's just too many times we're phasing out on offense and too many times that we're giving up big plays, whether it's the pass game or the run on defense. And so we'll need to sharpen that up in order to get the win this Saturday. Mercer's the only thing on our mind. They have our full attention, and we'll be ready to go. Questions?
How do you instill the kind of fast start mentality, especially, this late in the year, or is that just kind of something you have to?
It's not about that. It's not about a fast start. It's about being ready to go in value in what's right in front of you. My general sense is this. We're looking for bigger and bigger moments prior to getting the job done. So you don't go out there and warm up efficiently. You don't go out there and enjoy each other and warm up. There's not enough connection. I knew it at the 27-minute mark that we were a little off Saturday. Well, that's getting to be a little bit late. Coach can only say a few things. Motivation, Jake Dickert said this, motivation's fleeting. Playing to the standard and being ready to go is another thing. And that goes for the coaching staff, the equipment staff, and most importantly, our leadership and the players.
Why do you think that the last 2 weeks?
I think we're looking ahead, Dom. I just said it. It's not big enough for us. It's not big enough for anybody just to be in a quarterfinal game or the second round of the game, the second round of the playoffs. It is damn big enough. It is, and that's got to be the main focus. It's the Super Bowl is this weekend, and it's Mercer, and we're zeroed in.
It's another brand new opponent for you, second one in a row. Is that kind of a fun aspect of the playoffs?
It's a lot of fun, and it's just, I'm thinking right now, Chris Kleiman did some fun things when he got here. He started instilling this thing like respect the process. Just work the process. If we work the process, respect the process, you're going to go 1-0. That's really all I'm interested in today in this press conference.
Coach, this team likes to use the time of possession, rushing attack. What have you seen in the game film and preparing for
Well, they're very good on defense. Quite frankly, let's go there first. They've got the defensive end player of the year on defense. They have the freshman of the year is the other defensive player, the other D end. They've got 2 guys with 7 interceptions. They got a D tackle that made honorable mention. A linebacker that's been honored 3 times in their league. That was a first-team performer, number 3. And I'm not naming their names today because this is a faceless opponent. We're going to get – I went into the archives. We're going to get back on some topics that we've used in the past. They're plus 11 in the turnover ratio. Most impressively, they get off the field 75% on third down. So 42 sacks, number 1 in the country. 23 INTs, number 1 in the country. 75% win rate on third down, number 1 in the country. We're going to have to be on top of our stuff. Offensively, player of the year in their league is a running back, number 3. He's a good player, averaging 5.24 yards per carry, and then they still throw for 200 yards. They want to establish the run, and they want to run the football. I think they want to do as good a job as they can on third and longs and on third and, plus 6, 7 of protecting the football, making it a 60-minute game. They're really comfortable playing in that, kind of that strike zone. And that's kind of who they are. They're well coached and they're well prepared. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for the things they were talking about. Let's focus on us. It's not about North Dakota State. I think this squad's going to be ready to go and thinking right. We're going to need to play our best football this season.
To shake things up a little bit on the offensive line front, just thoughts on guys, plugging and playing in different positions here, especially this late in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we chose to shake things up. It's unfortunate with Jake, Rock. Gets a season-ending injury. It's sad for his family. It's unfortunate for him because he was writing a little bit of a comeback story. One of those things that we were going to be able to we still will be able to, but hang in there. Good things are coming, right? We've got a 6-year option on the left side in Pontius. I think we've got two really, really good options as far as Jake Lewinsky and Bo Johnson. It's just a matter of, okay, where are their best players and where's our game plan going to go? Because we do have some options. I know that's going to be leading up to the game. That's going to be a question mark. It should be. It's exciting. Like, who are they going to settle on? And I think a lot of it's going to have to do with, okay, where are the matchups and what kind of run, game? Are we going to run dual or is it inside zone? Are we going to run A-gap power and the trap play? What things are we going to do?
Is that fluid then? You move Miller inside to put ball
Yeah,
outside?
I mean, that's what we would do. Right now, we're very conscious. When we get to this point of the year, where have guys gotten the majority of their reps? In preseason, spring, I think we need to be flip-flopping them, fall camp, all those things. I think Bo would go to right tackle, Mason would slide into right guard. Okay, we have an option of playing Gray Zabel at left guard and playing Pontius at left tackle. Playing Pontius at left guard. He's had a lot of reps on the left side. I think right now at this stage of the game, whoever's performing the best, today's practice is critical because tomorrow and Thursday are basically Spiders practices. And we still have some leeway on that.
They're number one rush defensively. What stands out as a team who want to run the football that they're so good at stopping it?
Well, and it's interesting, right? It's a good question, and it goes deeper than that. Their DC was at Youngstown State for 2 years, 23 and 22, and faced us, right? Is that accurate? And so I think for a long time, when Youngstown's been good, they played heavy techniques. Cover up O-linemen, not let you necessarily advance to the second level as fast as you would want. So they play very well. They play very well out of a 4-point stance to get their hands on your chest. They're working to reestablish the line of scrimmage and get knocked back out of heavy techniques. That stands out. They're opportunistic, obviously. They're plus 11 in the turnover margin, and that's not even like the most impressive thing because they've turned it over 10 times, fumbling it, and they've thrown 11 INTs. So that number, you know what I mean? Like, something's got to give. They're really opportunistic. I think their DBs have good hands. 23 interceptions, right? That means that you're closing. And then when they do pick the ball off or pick it up, they've scored 5 or 6 times on defense. And so those are probably the qualities that stand out the most to me. I respect, their pass rush ability. If you give them an inch, they're going to take it. We got to make sure that we're setting the man, okay, and we make him go through us and make him beat us. And then if we do that, I think there's some success on the other side if we respect our fundamentals.
What's the signal? Hunter, 6-year guy hanging in there, a chance to start?
Yeah. Hunter's another one of those kids that, number one, Fargo's been so good to him. The education, he's taken full advantage of that. I think he's really pleased with where he's at in his stage of life. But, just the stick-to-itness and the willingness to do that. It doesn't happen everywhere. Even a guy like in his 5th or 6th year might say, well, I don't have a shot at starting. And he blocks the kick last year against Montana State. I think those are the foundation of this program. A lot like a lot of our former players. There's stories there, right? Like guys just hanging in there. And so it says a lot about his family, the way he was raised, and the person he is.
Braylon's 71st career game as a lifelong college guy like you are. Doesn't that seem almost bizarre? I know the COVID, obviously, but.
Oh, geez. Yes, it's bizarre. You know why? I still think like 56 is good. I remember when Dudzik had his thing there, and we thought that was like some great feat. We're coming up on some other records potentially being broke, but 71 games he's played in, I didn't know that. That's just unbelievable. That would be an NFL career in most cases.
Coach, your guys' defense, had some rough spots against Abilene Christian, really turned it up there in that second half at times. what are you seeing from them as they prepare for, this offense that, you guys are wanting to take them on?
Yeah, it's going to be okay. So our goal is to give up 3 or less explosive plays. We did that in that game. That 90-yard run chaps me as much as it chaps you guys. We had a secondary player misfit the football play. Okay, that wasn't in his spot where he should be on an unbalanced formation, I believe. Okay, that's what happens when you have a misfit in a gapped out defense. It's happened to us before. And my good old buddy Colton Hegel and Nick DeLuca were right at the point of the attack in the national title game, Illinois State. And one misfit, and there it goes when you're playing gapped out defense. I actually look back on it. I think defensively, you take that 90 yards out of there. And the way we were deploying coverage, the way we were deploying and helping corners at times. And then we settled in and said the corners don't need as much help as they. Honestly, they played pretty well. And anytime you get 3 takeaways, that's just huge. I mean, it's game changing. I think that's the equivalent. Okay, 2 takeaways, in my mind, would be the equivalent of giving up a 90-yard run. I mean, it's just college football today. And I thought Abilene Christian, and I'm with Jeff on this, I think Abilene Christian was good. They weren't better than we thought. They weren't this or that. They just were good and well prepared and ready to go. And like I said, at the opening remarks, we were not in the right state of mind to go out and have fun, compete, have pure joy on defense, fly around, swarm them, high-fiving. I think we're going to do that this week. We did it last night on a Monday practice.
This program appears to be investing in football in an age when a lot of FCS teams have moved up. How important is that for the FCS?
It's really important. I mean, for 8 years I was away, right? Or 7 seasons. I was away and I was like, geez, is there something? I think FCS football's in pretty good shape. And I don't know about the top or who can win it and then all the conversation pieces. But Abilene Christian is going to be an issue here moving forward. They got athletes. They're going to be well coached. I respect these guys and the ball they're playing. They're scheduling people. I'm trying to learn about the SoCon again and those kind of things, like what exactly are we looking at. But I think it's really important for as many programs as possible to reinvest into their outfits, hire the best people they can hire so that it is competitive, right? We all want to be in a competitive world. I think our fan base wants that. And so I think that's critical, Jeff.
Did you watch anything of them playing Alabama, or is that you throw that out?
Typically I like looking at an FBS opponent and then their last 2 because, okay, somewhere in the middle, that's kind of where this thing's going to fall. I just didn't. When Alabama, I don't think they went out and tried to establish the run or any of that stuff. I knew what kind of game I would be turning on. I just didn't look at it this time.
You mentioned Jackson Williams to us early on. What was it about it? Was it just even in summer workouts, say this guy can help us right away this fall?
Just he's so level-headed. And inside there's this humble, confident, calm, cool, collected, but he's on the attack all the time. That's the right mindset. You know what? Ryan Smith did it as a young returner, and I would compare those guys' demeanor, just workmanlike all the time. And then you just don't see him put the ball on the ground much. I mean, it was 2-3 weeks in the fall camp before he had a drop, I thought he should have made. And so he's a real consistent performer. I think he's real aware of his fundamentals and technique. If you guys would go back and look at his returns, his shoulders, right? He's square to the field. He's circling the ball properly. He was a center fielder, right? Baseball player. I mean, he's been not a pleasant surprise. He's been on this. And I guess we called our shot early in camp, but the opportunity arose for him to be a returner, and we ran with it. And I think it's paid off for all parties because it's going to give him a chance to compete this spring for a major role at receiver.
For some,
Go ahead. Game probably hasn't been quite.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Go ahead, Settle.
The tailback run game the last couple of weeks probably hasn't been quite up to standard, but Marty Brown clips 1,000 yards, first running back in I think 7 years.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, that's what I'll take 2 of them. We've done that multiple times. The tailback run game against South Dakota was going to be tough. Guys, they are an elite front. They are really good. Okay, this week they deployed, it's interesting, right? Barica had a 40-yard run. Well, that was the end of that. Okie, cover 4, 7-on-7 football. That was the last time we saw it. And I just think what I want to come back to is the job that Jake Landry and Randy Hedberg and Crutchley and Joe and Dan have done to get our pass game to where it is now that we can win in different fashions. Mike asked me earlier, can you guys win a shootout? You damn right. I believe we can do that. And I wish I could have it back. Okay, we want to talk about 2 weeks ago, let's talk about it. We should have got to the throw game a little earlier, as tough as it was to run it against South Dakota.
You mentioned Anthony as well. There's another guy who's played, he caught your attention right away for coming in. What about his experience has really helped you at a spot where you're pretty green still?
Yeah, he had a big tackle in the game too. The one play almost came out, and he made a great play. Just that. I mean, you're talking about a kid that's highly intelligent. You're talking about a guy that's work habits are very consistent. I think that's important at that position. To be an up and down guy is really hard to achieve your full potential. Anthony has some things he has to work on, and he would love to improve, but his consistency and we can count on him, right? Again, Shep, thank God Shep recognized his hamstring getting a little bit tight from the lack of work probably the week before. And so I don't think it was a major hamstring, but, here come 3 new guys in there, and just that. He's got a great personality. He's got a bright future. He's going to be successful.
Health-wise, anything else besides?
I'm hoping like heck we can have Wirtz and Alta Peter, because the relief it gives, whether it's during the week or during the game, is just unbelievable. It's just so connected, the special teams, and one guy's getting ran a lot, and the next guy has to take more reps, so forth and so on. Wirtz and Alta Peter at the top of my mind. I didn't realize this, to answer your question from Saturday. Kelton played a little more because Will was still coming off that shoulder a little bit, and then the type of game it was. So I think Will Mozart's 100%, or dang close to it. Who's 100% this time of year? But otherwise, our health is pretty good.
Kind of off that works factor, Kubitz has played basically the full game. How have you seen him? Because he hasn't really done that.
Yeah, we gave him a payday, right? Him and Logan Kopp are the linebackers. They got player of the game recognition from Grant, and that's the most important award because we give that at the team meeting. They both played really good. It's like I said to Grant, even though with all the fits and stuff, you'd still like to see them from time to time make a play that's not necessarily theirs. And I think Kubitz is really running. He almost had a block punt. I think Kubitz is playing at a pretty good level, and so is Logan Kopp. We all are. We just have to eliminate the big play, whether that's in the air, or we have to eliminate the explosive play, in the run game. And when I say explosive play, we got to get it tackled. I thought some of our pursuit angles, like defensively, we focused really hard this week on pursuit angles. Some of the missed tackles on the perimeter screens and stuff weren't missed tackles. They were missed angles. And I know that's part of tackling, but we just have to pursue and close down the ball with better effort and better angles.
Coach, with the injuries and potential changes in the offensive line, how important is the leadership with players like Gray and Mason Miller for this offensive line to keep together?
Yeah, I mean, O-line's probably where we're at. It wouldn't be as concerning as some of these other spots. You know what I mean? We kind of still know what you got. You know how to protect it. You can do some things protection-wise to give a little help to somebody and build concepts and hot routes away from somebody if you had to. I'm confident in Ponch. I'm confident in Bo. I'm confident in Lewinsky. It's just a lack of repetition and experience that you hope a missed assignment don't all of a sudden catch up with you. With Ponch, I don't worry about that at all. And with those 2 younger guys, you would have concerns that it's a pretty big moment.
Day and age where everyone's on TV. It's the first time the Fargo's going to be on network television on ABC. How big a deal is that on Saturday?
We've talked about it, right? Get everybody to the Dome, and man, those people that were there were awesome last week. But this would be a hell of a recruiting tool if that Dome is packed and people can see our brand and our colors and the support that we have here at NDSU. And I think this is an opportunity, no different than going down to Minnesota years ago and capturing a W, and all of a sudden applications increase. And so I hope everybody recognizes the moment. National televised game. You can record it and go home and watch it afterwards. And then just take the Saturday to tailgate, have a good day with your family, and cheer loud and be proud.